everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Comix. You have made it to episode 26. Congratulations. Round of applause. My name is Luis.
This is Esteban.
I'm Carmen.
I'm Ash.
And I'm Andres.
We are Comix, and we are everywhere. So we just want to say thank you again for joining in. We have a lot of stuff to get into. Because of the days that we record, we're a little bit behind in terms of when important nerd shit comes out. So a little behind the scenes, we record on Thursdays, which is actually the same day Snyder Cut came out. So we didn't get to talk about it then, being last week. So we are gonna talk about that today. We're gonna talk a little bit about Hawkeye, a spinoff series that has been greenlit. Keanu Reeves' comic book, Burst, BZRKT, I believe.
You okay?
Berserker.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. It's spelled okay. It's pronounced Berserker, but the spelling of it's fucking weird. So you'll understand when you see it. That's been greenlit for a Netflix show that we'll talk about. Kate Kane has been recasted, which is Batwoman. Some information on Black Widow. Some interesting Shazam news. Again, do a deep dive on the Snyder Cut. And then we're going to round this out with Falcon and Bucky, our impressions on the first episode. But before we get into all that crazy shit, let's talk about crazy drinks. Andres, what are you drinking today?
I am drinking an offshoot beer company. It's called Retreat. There we go. It is a double hazy IPA. It's really good. Has a lot of grapefruit flavor up front. Yeah, it's excellent beer. Enjoy.
I dig it. Why
do I have Who Let the Dogs Out playing in my head right now? Like the second verse.
I don't know. Is it because you have music playing in the background again, like you did last week?
Wait, what is the second verse?
Same as the first.
Who let the Isn't it who? Well, I guess it is.
Yeah. See,
that was the joke.
That was the joke.
That was the joke.
Ow.
I apologize.
Oh Lord.
Whiskey's one hell of a drink.
Here we go again.
Okay, the drug.
All right. Well, real quick before we get into these other topics, we did want to touch up on some of our comments that we have from our beloved fans, you guys. Starting with first comment from Melissa Morales on our YouTube. No relation to Miles Morales. And the comment is, great episode, guys and gal, before somebody cries and calls me a sexist. LOL. Smiley faces. We would never, but the rest of the world might.
What is happening?
This one I thought was great.
Yeah.
So heavyweight comments on the Spotify playlist. So we just started a Spotify playlist, and we're putting in just to kind of give a little bit more about us and the type of music we all listen to. And so our very own Andres is spearheading this project, and so he's putting different song choices from each of us every week. So follow the playlist. You might like some of that shit. Maybe you bump into some other stuff that you didn't think that you would ever listen to. So that's kind of the point. We each have very different musical tastes as well as different opinions and nerd shit. But Heavyweight says that he doesn't have Spotify, so he hasn't listened, but he took the liberty of selecting the next song for each of us. And so I wanted to read it to you guys and see what you guys thought.
No.
Real quick, pause that. Andreas, is there any way to get that same playlist on Apple Music?
I can't. I don't have Apple Music to be able to.
Okay.
I'll look into it.
Would have to create. It would be double work because it won't just link over.
At the very least, I can put up a list of what we have, and he could search for it on YouTube. I don't know. I could make something.
that works. So Ash's selection: Bon Jovi, Dead or Alive. Good suggestion or not good suggestion?
That is, I think he already knows this. That's my karaoke song.
That's probably why he picked it. Yeah, that's probably why. Yeah.
Because I always have to come up with somebody that goes, "Wanted."
Oh, that actually sounded pretty good.
I got you.
I dug it. That sounded good. Esteban, I actually like this one. Maroon 5, Moves Like Jagger.
I guess.
I could totally see you rocking out like with your
I
kids in the
mean,
car
really?
because it's like it's like a PG song.
Kind
Copy.
of. Yeah, kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
OPG.
yeah, I'll take it. I'll take it.
There you go.
All right, this one's great, and I totally think it fits. Carmen, DMX, Party Up.
Ow.
Really?
Hey, why did she get the party song? And he gets fucking.
I know. I
You
get
got the
Maroon
moves like Jack.
5. Why the
Yo, that song bumps though. Like that song
fuck
is
do I
legit.
get? The fuck I get Maroon 5 and Carmen
Hold on.
gets DMX.
Carmen, DMX. I think you got some hood in you. Am I right?
Perhaps not
Yeah?
a lot, but
What?
I understand.
He's like, catch me on a
From
bad
all that
day.
hood
There
stuff.
it is.
Mm,
You get down with some DMX?
I have listened to some songs, but only because my boyfriend likes.
Where my dog's at?
Yeah, and so that's about all my exposure to him.
Got it.
You're in
All
the
right, so
passenger seat while DMX is playing.
let's go give it to you. Go and give it to you. God,
He's just sitting all polite.
There's a grown man barking. He got paid for this?
That is a great fucking scenario.
Oh my god. Andres, Dan Band, Candy Shop. I don't even know what that is.
I don't mind it. The Dan Band is
the
the
Dan
cover
Band,
band.
the Candy Shop. Is that
That's the 50 Cent
Hangover
song,
2?
but it's the Dan Band version of it.
Mhm.
is it Hangover 2?
Oh.
At the wedding, I think that he sings.
I think you're right.
Oh yes, at the end. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You know your memory.
I'll take it.
You know your memory. You know your music, sir. And then
I know my
mine.
memory. Really.
You know your memory. You know your memory. And then I got Journey, Don't Stop Believing. I can't say I hate the song. I don't particularly like it, but I also don't hate it. And I just think it's funny that I got the pussiest song out of like the selection. Like this was definitely Louise.
I was gonna say I hate that Journey
No,
song by the
Maroon
way.
5.
But yeah, Maroon 5 takes it.
Yeah, Maroon 5 does take it.
And that's the one I was all pumped for. I'm like, that was
I
legit.
know.
Hey, I'll trade with you, dude. I'll happily take Journey over
I don't
Maroon
think
5.
this is Pokemon cards, dude. This is his
How
opinion
could
of
you
what
not think-
I'm just saying.
How could you not think of Chris Evans every time you hear that song? Because of Losers.
Oh, yeah.
I always think of him fucking in the microwave, in the elevator.
You,
See, I do know my memory.
You know your memory real good. God damn it. I can't speak today. I'm sorry, guys. And that's all we're supposed to do today is speak. It's gonna be a great show. Okay. And so this one's from Zach, and this is our last one, guys. Another great show. Couple of things. What is the word that Ash and Esteban say all the time that Carmen is supposed to keep track of? So I realized that editing the last episode we were talking about, oh, everybody knows what it is now, but turns out they don't. So
No, they don't, because we said it after the show. Okay, so being that I brought it up, I will talk about that.
please.
Okay, I say the word like a lot. So everything is like, you know, like. I'm like fucking the girl from Clueless. Esteban's is a full sentence, which I think is more fair for him. And what is your sentence, Esteban?
I get it.
I get it. So every time Esteban says, well, it'll just be a going thing. Every time Esteban says, I get it, whoever's willing to participate, you have to take a shot. And whenever I say like, you only have to do beer because I say it a lot. So take a sip of your beer. But for
The power hour.
not the show, because you guys will be drunk. I'm saying our listeners.
That's pretty dope. Take that.
Look at that. We already got a drinking game.
Woo!
And then once we figure out what everybody else does, you know, then we'll make it a 5-way drinking game.
Get mad at you, I guess would be mine.
Yeah.
Well,
That
That doesn't happen that often.
No. Okay, Andres is gonna be moving on.
especially at 11:30 when we stop recording. We're still recording.
Yeah. This happens late. All right. Well, that is our comments, guys. Thank you.
Tell with your fucking Blair Witch background you have going right now. With your one single light. Are you
I'm sorry.
in the bed like she's like trying to sleep and you're
You just
like
see a foot at the corner. No, I did position in a different part of my living room, which
Mhm.
you have just
Well, you have
taught
to.
me
You
that never
definitely got to
did-
do different positions.
Yeah, 'cause
You don't wanna get stagnant.
I'm trying to not like
Yeah.
be as loud as I was the week.
Well, she's sleeping
before.
next to you. You can't be loud.
Shut up, babe. Yes, that's very true.
Babe, I'm trying to podcast.
I'm trying to podcast right now. We're going places. It's funny because it hurts.
We got a new subscriber.
That was awesome.
So let's talk about the Hawkeye spinoff that came out, or the news of the Hawkeye spinoff coming out, called Echo. Does anybody know about this information?
Echo? Yeah,
Yes.
Echo is a character. She's actually deaf. She's a deaf superhero, and
Native American, right?
correct.
Yeah.
And she has photographic memory, so she can kind of like Taskmaster. Just to kind of So she has that. Those are her superpowers.
Was
So
anyone
she-
aware? Well, this is, I guess, more to you and Andres. Were you two aware of this comic book hero? Does this make you guys excited that this person's coming out?
I knew that there were deaf characters or deaf superheroes, but I didn't know the extent of their storyline. But I knew of them. But it's more of a, hey, did you know there's a deaf character? No, I didn't. Okay, well, now you know, but not kind of like what her name is and stuff like that.
Got it.
So
Yeah, don't know much. So, am I excited? It's a Marvel property, and they haven't missed much. So, yeah, I'm excited to check it out.
Tiny bit off topic,
Mhm.
but if you guys haven't seen a movie called The Sound of Metal on Amazon Prime,
dude, I've been meaning
do
to
yourself
watch
a
that.
favor and bum
Yeah.
yourself out and watch it. Okay, so I got Andres nodded yes. Carmen, you saw it as well.
I started it. I'm like halfway through it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not on Bumblebee.
Ash is a yes.
What's the movie where he's a villain?
Ooh.
The Riz Ahmed.
Yeah, I feel like I'm not sure if he's a Transformer villain or if he's a Marvel villain, but it's
I don't
like I
recall
almost feel like
this.
he's. Anyway, that is a train
He
stop.
came out on an HBO show, maybe a year and a half, 2 years ago, where he went
Leave
to
a
jail.
comment if you guys remember. He's in a Marvel movie and he's in a.
Marvel.
I can't remember what movie it is.
It was Venom.
What
Venom.
the-
Thank you.
He was in, and he also was in Rogue One.
Oh,
Oh, nice. I don't even remember him in Rogue One.
He was the pilot.
Oh my stars! He's in Rogue One. I heard myself.
I know.
I heard it.
for those of you that haven't heard of Sound of Metal, it's the reason I brought it up. It was completely random. It's about a person that loses his hearing. He goes deaf. He's a drummer in a metal band, Sound of Metal, and he loses his hearing, and it's just how much anguish he goes through. So it's very much an artsy piece, but it's fucking powerful. Like it is.
Is it a Grammy
Just-
or he got an Oscar?
It was nominated.
Nominated.
Okay.
Yeah. But that just shows you the tier of film that it is. But the thing about a lot of these like Sundance types films is that sometimes it's like, oh, you're depressed, let's hit you with some more of it, and then it kind of ends with your own like open ending. So you have to be open to that kind of artsy thing, but it's really it's a grounded film. It's really moving. I thought it was fucking great.
I
Recommend
was
it.
afraid it was gonna end up like Whiplash. J.K. Rowling and Miles Teller.
Yes.
J.K. Rowling,
Yeah.
J.K. Simmons.
J.K. Well, he was cut from the film. Yeah, I don't know if you knew that.
Yeah.
So total side note on regards to him. He is actually in the lead right now to possibly be the next Constantine.
That guy.
Oh,
Hmm.
I'll take it.
I wouldn't. Yeah, I wouldn't be angry with that.
Yeah.
Honestly, I wouldn't be angry with anything. Like, I've been shown that they can do whatever they just like. The casting director has a vision, and they can usually make it happen. So, just stop lubing me up. Just give it to me already. And moving on, dead silence. Okay,
Did
so
somebody did Luis take my soul at night? Because he's saying a lot of ashisms.
it is called whiskey.
Yeah, there it is. You did take my soul.
Yeah, take a shot, bitch. All right, so Keanu Reeves has
Wait, hold on, Louis. I'm sorry. I wanted to talk about Echo because I saw who the writer for the show is going to be, which is Ethan Cohen and Emily Cohen, and they were both writers on Idiocracy, and I really liked that movie. And other than that, they also worked on Holmes and Watson and Madagascar 3, so it seems like a very comedic kind of writing style, in a way like satire. So I think that would be pretty cool.
Dig it.
Also for the character, she was the one that held in the comics the title of Ronin first.
Mhm.
So I think that's how they're tying it to Hawkeye. And that's to the extent of like the research I got on her character, which I thought was pretty cool, as I could see the connection with Hawkeye.
The title of what?
Ronin.
Ronin.
Got
Of
it.
her. Echo, her character. She was the one. Got it? Cool. Okay, thanks. We can move on now. I got to talk.
Actually, you just reminded me of. So I was playing the new Marvel Avengers game that came out last year, developed by Square Enix. The storyline is a storyline that the Avengers fail, and essentially the world hates them, and so they're having to do like Black Op type missions to not be revealed to the public. They just came out with a DLC for Hawkeye and Kate Bishop, and
Nice.
it's a very fascinating storyline. If it's very centered with the films, the way that Square Enix is doing it. If they make the Kate Bishop the same as they're doing with what's your girl's name, Andres?
Haley Steinfeld.
Haley Steinfeld.
That one. If they make her comedic timing the same way, oh my god, we're in for a fucking film, because I didn't realize how much of a jokey character she is. Like, this is the first time I'm being introduced to these characters,
Mhm.
and it introduces like old man
Logan.
Hawkeye. No,
Oh,
it's
Old
like
Man Hawkeye?
yeah,
Okay.
it's like a post-apocalyptic thing, and so it dabbles in time travel. But then also Kate Bishop, and just like how her connection. I mean, in this game they're not family, but just like on how it just shows them interacting with each other, and
Mhm.
how she was his protege, how she learned from him and shit. So very interesting stuff. If you're
Nice.
looking for a video game to pick up and drop a
Is
couple
there a
hours in.
universe where they are related?
The movies, right? Isn't that his daughter in the movie?
Oh, is that like when he's showing them how to on the
That
farm?
was my assumption. Am I wrong?
Oh, okay, no, right?
No. They're kind of taking the adaptation from the actual Hawkeye story comic book that came out in I think it was like 2015, 2014. That's the pretty much storyline. No, I don't think she is related to him.
I
yeah.
assumed that that scene in
Of course,
Endgame.
in Endgame. Mhm.
I thought that they were prepping that one to be his daughter to be Kate.
Yeah, no, it's someone completely different. I think
Okay.
she's actually I'm not even gonna pretend I know. I haven't even read that comic book yet. So
Okay. But yeah, interesting shit. Anybody else have anything on Echo before we shift? All right.
Also, please comment if what we're saying, like, if you guys know more about her, like you guys can teach us just as much as we're giving our opinion.
Yeah, that goes with anything that we're talking about, actually.
For sure. Or if you just want Luis to shut the fuck up, you just put that in the chat.
the
in
chat.
the chat? Put that in the chat.
You know what? In like a year when we have a chat, you guys are gonna be like,
These guys thought of it first. They went into the chat. So Keanu Reeves develops his own comic book, which Comics Alliance, friends of the podcast, they when Chris read it, said it's freaking awesome, and he's playing the main character. Not my buddy Chris, but
That would be
Keanu
dope.
Reeves
That would be
is the main character in this comic, and so Netflix just greenlit that comic book, which is interesting considering it's not that far in. It's only like
it's
3 issues.
Yeah, the third issue is dropping, I think, next month.
So clearly, it's they're backing it with Keanu Reeves is tied to the project. Let's throw him in.
Yeah.
How do we feel about that, guys?
It's not just one; it's two different. Well, it's two things that they've greenlit for him. So one is a full-blown motion picture, and the second one's an anime.
Of the same comic book
Of
series?
yeah. It's like
Huh.
a spin-off type thing. So I can probably, the only way that I can see it is that it's the movie's gonna kind of follow the comic book, but the anime spin-off is gonna be his past leading up to the movie.
I dig it.
So
I mean, when Chris said, and this is coming from like a really big comic book fan, this is his favorite read right now.
That's good. That's
among
awesome.
his favorite reads, and that's a pretty big thing.
Yeah.
Andres, how are you feeling about Keanu Reeves' new project?
Sounds good. I'm excited to watch it. Probably won't watch the anime, not because I have anything against anime. Probably won't make whatever. I don't have anything against anime. I just have a bunch of shit I am watching, and it won't crack the list since my partner won't want to watch that. So
fair.
So yeah, but it sounds awesome. I'm willing to check it out. See how. Yeah.
Very cool.
What about you, Carmen? It looks really cool. I tried looking for it. I can't find it yet. The issues. I wanted to read it first. So I'm looking forward to reading it, and then I'll let you guys know what I think of it. I'm like with Win Chris if we share the same opinion. But I'm excited. I mean, if the poster or the art that they put up looks pretty sick and the anime style, so pretty cool.
Yeah, I found them, Carmen, if you get a chance, and this is not, we're not sponsored by them at all. Check out goldenapple.com. They have quite a few issues left there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but to try to get a number one, it might be already on the second print. So I'm not sure if you even care about that, first print, second print, or whatever. But yeah, they have a few, and I think I saw there's a few variant covers that are going anywhere from like $35 to almost $250. Just for the cover art. So yeah.
I'm curious to see if he directs this project of his, because has anyone seen, I believe it was his directorial debut, anyone see the movie called Man of Tai Chi?
No.
It was a very Tekken-esque inspired film where Tai Chi is a martial art in China that every so many hours they get like a 15-minute stretch out break, and Tai Chi is what they do at work, like during their 15-minute break or whatever, to like kind of loosen yourself up. So it's not known to be a martial art. Now, this movie revolves around a guy that wants to prove that Tai Chi is a good martial art. You just have to be really good at it. And so this guy goes into a fighting tournament, but it feels like if anyone ever played the Tekken games, like the Iron Fist tournament, and so it's these different fighting styles that are going in. So it's a very fascinating film, and he essentially plays the kingpin, like the person above it all that's
awesome,
doing all these pay-per-view fights, and so he's the villain. And he has such a respect for martial arts and action in general that I thought it was beautifully done. The reviews were a little mediocre, but I thought it was great. When I saw it, I was just like, holy shit, this is fucking amazing. But I strongly recommend it. Anybody have anything else on the Keanu Reeves project before we move on?
No,
I think,
just
Keanu Reeves doing video games. These two things,
he's all
I
over
feel
the
like
place,
he's
man.
really utilizing his name and his image in a very fucking creative way, like almost like when I don't know, I feel like maybe he's like leaving his mark, like
oh, absolutely, like
putting yourself, not even like Matrix 4 and blah blah blah, like, see, you guys would be drinking because I said like a million times. Just like the amount of things that he does, he's he's using everything. He got to this level, and now he's almost helping everybody else, almost like Adam Sandler, but not that. Just
in his own lane.
in his own way. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Like, do you see that movie Always Be My Maybe?
Mm-hmm.
You're the second person to tell me to watch that this week.
Really? You haven't seen it?
You haven't seen it.
You haven't seen it?
I haven't seen it. But I have to see it soon.
Please do. Watch it this weekend. He steals the movie in the short time he's in it.
Yeah.
That's all I'll say about it.
And then fucking Roy Park's in it. Roy Park's the shit right now.
Randall
Park is the shit right now. It started with an R.
Ray Park? You know he got blown. I'm just kidding. Please continue.
I kind of feel like Keanu is finally doing what he wants to do. You know what I mean?
Hell yeah.
As far as
like maybe he's done all the blockbuster stuff so that he could be able to do.
It's not necessarily. I mean, I don't see it necessarily as that. I think because of all the stories that that come out in the news, that he's like extremely humble and like doesn't have a lot of things to his name and this and that. He lives a very simple life. That being to be fair, he was typecasted for a long time. As the dude. You know what I mean? So then he got the Matrix and he got all that stuff. And then he started breaking out and doing his own stuff. So I kind of feel that. He now is free to do what he wants as far as an artist when it comes down to music, because he was in a band at one point and, he was the bassist for that band. And then now he's doing video games and now he's writing comic books, writing scripts for comic books, directing movies. It's like it looks like he's free, but not only that, but it looks like in those roles he's happy as he's playing those roles. You know what I mean? Maybe not so much Bill and Ted 3, but I mean it looks overall like he looks.
Wait, what do you mean by that? Did he phone it in or what?
No,
there was one part that we lost our shit on.
but then we were super
but we lost our shit. That's all.
You guys were blitzed though. That doesn't count. Wait. Why did you compare it to Bill and Ted? Did he phone it in or what?
No, but I think he was kind of trying a little too hard to kind of bring back that character. You know what I mean? Like to bring back, the Bill and Ted type thing. Like the certain scenes, he just kind of seemed very like, kind of halfway done. You know what I mean?
It's real weird because even in Speed, whoa, like I walk away. Like there was like a lot of Ted.
I don't remember that.
Really weird to see him not be able to play Ted.
Yeah,
Ted. You know what I mean? Like it's almost like Keanu. I don't know you personally, but maybe just be yourself.
But yeah, it's like he tried real hard not to be Ted, in the entire movie, but it came off as weird. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I mean, even when he was acting normal from the Bill and Ted series, like that was such a staple of making fun of Keanu.
Right.
Whoa, I'm in a video game. Like when we were like making fun of him in Matrix, and that was always giving him that surfer sound. Is always like, and they always said, "Oh, he's a horrible actor." Like I would just remember hearing all this stuff about the guy.
Or the part in fucking Point Break where he's talking to the surfer, and it was like everybody creamed because he was being Ted. Nope, nobody. No.
Oh, and he's like, "I am an FBI agent."
Point Break just came out, so clearly.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's like for a while he was typecasted. You know what I mean? He was to play the surfer dude, or he was to play the bro.
That was my only point. It's like it took him so long to get out of it. So when he did, and then he's like, "Oh, okay, I'm gonna go back to like this because it's an actual sequel to this film." Is it just possible that it was just weird for us that it's like? We don't like you here. We want you to be back at the badass part.
Yeah, like we want to see John Wick. We don't want to see Ted right now. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, he seems, especially in the stuff that he wants to do, that he's willing to do. Like he's like happy, like genuinely, like, and he puts forth the effort.
Yep.
Not saying that he didn't in Bill and Ted, but it was more of a like
that story was bad.
Yeah, it was pretty bad. But I mean, overall,
FBI.
Yeah, exactly. I am an FBI. Yeah. So I mean, it's just but to kind of see, knowing that, especially like the stuff that he's working on, like the John Wick, I mean, it's already in pre-production to do a chapter 5. We're already at that point, we're gonna see that, so I
I'm
don't
not
know, that's
upset.
yeah, that I'm just, it makes me happy to see that he's doing other stuff, and
Absolutely.
he's falling under that category that whatever he's in, I'm gonna end up watching regardless.
Yeah,
You know what I
yeah,
mean?
I'm getting there too.
It's coming to the point where like, fuck this movie. Hey, Keanu's in it. Oh, I'm down. Like, it's getting to that point.
Yeah.
Mm.
Although,
Like,
what was
Keanu's
that?
in it.
There was
Like,
that.
hey, Keanu's in it. Oh,
Yeah.
There was a movie where he was being harassed by like 2 college girls. That wasn't that good.
Don't knock twice. No.
Don't knock or knock. Yeah, something like that.
Right?
That was a
wasn't
real
good.
dark movie.
Yeah, well, I didn't think it was that good, but
But you finished twice. Fucking. Fucking.
one more time than I knocked.
Don't knock twice.
Wow.
Don't knock it twice.
That's not even the name of the title. That's horrible.
It is now.
There's a lady present.
Any last comments before we move on, guys? Girl? No? And moving on. Black Widow finally got its release date in theaters and Disney Plus July 9th. I don't want to say that I don't care anymore, but I'm just going to see it regardless. So we've been teased this for a year now. It was supposed to come out.
Longer, dude.
Right?
Yeah. May of last year was the original intent, and then pandemic. Anybody have thoughts they would like to discuss on the film?
It's one of those where it's like, I don't care at this point. Like, they should have done this a long time ago and dropped it on Disney Plus a long time ago, but am I willing to spend the $30? Probably not. Is it cheaper to go to a movie theater when it opens up instead of spending the $30? Probably. I mean, it's probably going to end up showing up on Disney Plus a few months later anyway, kind of like what they're doing with what they did with Moana and what they're going to do with Raya the Last Dragon. So that's how I feel about it.
What do you say, Carmen?
I just think they should have released it prior to, if they were going to do what they're doing now. I mean, why did they make us wait so long? I'm excited to see it because Black Widow was one of my favorite characters within the first Phases saga. I like Scarlett Johansson, so I mean, I'm all for it. But again, I feel like it with the Snyderverse, where it's like it's been kind of like lingered on for so long that now it's just like, okay, can we just watch it? Thanks.
It feels like it's so apparent that it lives on its own universe because of how long they were able to wait. Since Marvel's projects are so it seems so intentional when they get released, because it's like, here's a little Easter egg for the next thing, and then it's like a row of dominoes. So if they were able to hold this thing off for a full year, that leads me to think, I'm like, oh, this must exist on its own island. Very good analogy on Snyderverse. Like, it's its own thing. Not that it's bad. I'm sure it's amazing. I'm sure it's gonna be good. Anybody else, guys?
I'm still looking forward. Sorry, darkness. I'm still looking forward to watching it. I'm glad they finally set the release date. I don't feel like, I know how you guys are comparing it to the Snyder cut, but I don't think it's like that because they haven't been hyping that movie up. There hasn't been the campaign behind it. I think Marvel kind of mishandle it a bit, waiting so long and then finally just ending up putting it on Disney Plus. But I'm still looking forward to it. We haven't been hearing like, we haven't been getting trailer after trailer or bits and pieces here and there like we did with that. That's kind of more what I got tired of from the Snyder cut than as opposed to this. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. That may be the first movie I go out to see, that or King Kong versus Godzilla. But that's
You're gonna go out for that.
I was thinking how you were, Stefan was talking about, do you really want to drop the money for it and watch it at home or go to the theater? It's like with the limited amount of seats that they're going to have for people in the theater right now, It's like I wonder if the prices are going to be more to make up for not having capacity. And if
True.
that's the case, then it may just be worth staying at home and watching it. So we'll see how it goes.
True. I didn't even think about that. Very true.
But yeah, I'm looking forward to
Well,
it.
some theaters let you rent out the whole theater for like $100, and
Not a
I
lot.
think that's
Yeah.
going to change with releases now that we actually could attend the theaters.
oh, okay.
So I don't know if that's going to carry over. I kind of doubt it. But yeah.
We'll tell. Anybody else before we move on?
I'm Darkness. So, well, nobody laughed because you guys, come on, you guys heard that. Sorry, Darkness. Come on, that's amazing.
He is missing on every level right now.
Nobody heard Darkness?
Nobody
I
heard it.
did. I heard it, and
Thank
then
you. Thank you.
it
What
took
you
me
should
back
do
to
is
my
stay quiet
serving days
amongst
because
everybody
one
else.
of the servers we used to call her Darkness, and I totally just picture her. So, but I did hear it. I did hear it.
To be honest, I honestly forgot about it until they said, "Oh, by the way, remember Darkness?
Remember Darkness?
By the way,
Remember Darkness?
My old friend.
It's gonna come out." I do like this because now, hopefully, they don't set a precedent and make it seem like these characters are B characters and they go to Disney Plus and these characters get movies. I hope it doesn't turn into that, and I hope it does. Like if it's better as a 10 episode thing, then make it a 10 episode thing. If it's better as a movie because we don't have 10 episodes, then cool. But just this thing has created something where like the streaming thing is not going to go away, and you need to satisfy what you've created. Like now we're going from Wanda to Mandalorian to Wanda to Mandalorian's not the same thing, but Mandalorian to Wanda to like now it's become
Yeah,
a
I get
thing
what you're
where
saying.
we need to wait for the next thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I understand we're trying to go back to normal, but we still need that thing on Friday now because you've set that precedent.
Yeah.
That's all.
And that's a difficult thing to fulfill because how do they do that? Like, there's obviously a lot of there's a lot of money in putting a movie out in a movie theater, of like all the box office tickets and all that shit. But then there's no denying that.
See, you say that
us-
right now, but we don't know what the ramifications of us being home for a year and whether going out is worth it anymore after
Yeah.
So we don't know what's the future is going to hold. So you say
Sure.
like box office, like, yeah, maybe in the past, but it's a different world we live in now.
And that's
So
fucking insane. And
yeah,
now,
we don't know what it is.
Would you argue that, I mean, if we only knew it as a movie, we all would have seen it 100 times by now. But it's hard to imagine it as a movie because there's so much character development that was done during those 8 hours.
I think that them spending the money on a series like that and fleshing out the story and spending time on a character, spending time on telling the tale is more fulfilling than a movie, sans it being like a major event. And this is only, obviously I don't mean it for all film. I mean for like properties like this where you have stuff. If it's going to be a combined story where it has a bunch of your characters from the main universe, then fine, make a big ass film about it. But if you want to like delve deep into the characters, tell stories, I think shows right now, if you're going to spend the money, that is, it seems like shows is the way to go. Like have a series,
or maybe even like too, going against Deathstroke could be a series, but going against the Joker is a movie. It could be like that too, maybe.
Yeah. And that goes back with Esteban's analogy of the one-shot comic. Like a one-shot comic feels good on a movie, but like if you're telling a long story, a continuous story, like, yeah, season's the way to go. I don't know. They truly have created a monster because now we just want more. We want more content. And
Yeah, it has turned us into monsters, for wanting more content, but it also turns us into conspiracy theorists when it comes down to trying to figure out what's the next thing. You know what I mean?
yeah.
That's what it turns us into. It's like I saw someone making fun of the Falcon and Winter Soldier. I'm not going to go into it, but they were making fun of it, and they're just like, see, because he did that, so and so's going to be coming out in the series, and it's just like, okay, like I get it. All
They
this
want to be the
content.
first one to call it out or something, right?
Right,
I get
exactly.
that.
And yeah, it has created monsters in us as far as wanting the content, but also conspiracy theorists, because clearly we were being conspiracy theorists or having all these theories for WandaVision, and did any of them come true? Absolutely not. You know, and then who was left there still laughing was fucking Marvel. That's what happened. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what it's turned into.
It could even be cool as a background thing, so that if this person shows up in the movie, we handle it here. So you have a background when she shows up. Like when I forgot her first name, but when Rambo shows up in a movie, it's gonna be a bigger deal because now we know all about her from Wanda.
Monica?
I keep thinking you're saying Rambo, like Sylvester Stallone.
Well, Esteban's the only one that speaks Ash.
I knew what you meant. I was gonna say it, but he beat me to it.
We're gonna fight some aliens or whatever. That was a very bad.
That was kind of bad.
Yeah, whiskey is the day you should do host.
Whiskey is the day you should host.
Damn
Sorry,
it! Why
guys.
does it always turn on me?
Whiskey is the day I'm not hosting.
Moving on. So the next one is wow. So many topics. Moving on is I'm a dog. I'm sorry, guys. It's something that happened between us, and I just found it so hilarious, and I keep bringing it up. This Christopher Walken thing has never been a thing. It will never be a thing, but it's something so dear to me.
It's a thing.
It's a thing. Shazam, Fury of the Gods is the next film coming out, and the villain has been cast none other than Helen Mirren.
Oof.
What are our thoughts on that, guys?
I mean, about Helen Mirren in general, or just? Oh, I'm sorry.
I mean,
What was the
yes.
top? What are we talking about again?
Slash. So how do you? Yes. Slash. How do we feel about the new Shazam coming out with her as the villain?
I'm pretty stoked about it. I mean, the first Shazam was great. It was
Really good.
it was good. I'm excited for it. I'm hoping everybody returns. I'm pretty sure we're probably gonna get Black Adam in it, probably in a cameo or something like that. But yeah, I'm stoked about it. I want to see it.
Very good. Anybody else?
I like Helen Mirren, so I'm excited to see her on that. But I still have to watch the first Shazam, so
Oh, you haven't seen
sorry.
What?
No, I have not.
it? It's all right.
Okay.
It's on my list, but see, then things keep like taking precedence
No.
over that, and
No,
it's just like
no
going
excuse.
down the list.
No, it's not even a DC Marvel thing. It is just that is such a wholesome, good movie.
It's a fun movie. It's a fun movie.
It has a lot of heart. Like it tugs the heartstrings. It has good comedy elements, and it has that rooting for the hero at the end element. Like it's an all-round good fucking film. You wouldn't. When you watch it, this is going to be one of those films that you think to yourself, how did I wait so long to see this movie?
You know what's weird about Shazam too?
Okay.
Does the kid change every movie? Because by the time you film the next one, he's like 23.
No, he'd be older. And it could just be that amount of time has passed in...
Yeah.
Well, okay, as a fucking 25-year-old, it's like fucking Fight Club. Like, whenever you feel like it, I feel like being cool. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, it's going to be weird, right?
Oh, I see what you're saying. Like, when you're 30, you Shazam into someone that's also 30. You're, like, in better shape as, like, your normal person.
What's up, girl? Not today. Shazam!
I'm sorry, what?
What? Oh, you left out on that. Like, come on.
Oh my god, I didn't even think of that. Like, that could also be your excuse to just like eat like a piece of shit, and then when you feel horrible, like Shazam, and be like, time to get the club.
Yeah, like
But
all
you'd be
through
wearing the
quarantine,
costume
be
the entire
normal, and then
time.
fucking, hey, everything's open. Shazam!
And he'd say it exactly like that.
With that much soul. Shazam!
Shazam! I don't know. I put some spice on it. Fuck you guys.
Oh man, that's a good point. I mean, I didn't think of that, but that's true. He Shazams into someone his own age. Like, there's like no change, and so the fish out of water story doesn't fit very well. Um, what about you, Andres? Looking forward to the next Shazam?
Yeah, I enjoyed the first one. Looking forward to this one. I love Helen Mirren, so I am looking forward to it.
Oof.
Very good. And we didn't have this on the topics, or too much on the topics. Black Adam is finally happening. I don't know if I should feel excited about it though, because this is like the second or third time that they've been like, it's happening, and then silence for like a year, and then it's happening. So it's been in pre-production hell, as they call it, and it's like a movie that's supposed to happen. Not gonna like Esteban, help me out. Didn't they sign The Rock around the same time they signed and they announced Batman vs Superman?
Yes.
Wasn't that announced? That wasn't, if I remember correctly, it was announced at the same Comic-Con.
Yeah, it was announced at the same Comic-Con, and then I think
he got on stage and he read a quote, didn't he? Like something as far as like, you'll feel like there's like a famous Black Adam quote that he read at the Comic-Con thing. And he's like, I'm excited to bring you Black Adam. Like, it was a big thing. And the DC people, like in their most toxic heyday, it's like, oh, they won Comic-Con and all this shit. And then we just never heard it.
That I don't remember. You might be right. I don't remember that. The only quote reading I remember is the Batman vs Superman one. That's the only one that I remember, is that one.
Yes, that's what I was gonna fucking talk about. Now, spoiler, Carmen.
Mm-hmm. Oh.
Spoiler for everybody that hasn't seen Justice League.
I thought you were warning me about the spoiler. I'm like,
It's
okay.
a bigger deal.
Okay, calm down.
The guy who read the thing from Batman vs Superman.
Yeah.
Right? It's a bigger deal now.
I mean, yes, but that felt shoehorned in.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that. Well, okay, no, we'll talk about it now. So,
no. Yeah.
No, because we're like, for someone that's listening right now, they don't know what the fuck we're talking about. So you're talking about I don't even remember his name, but in the Snyder cut, they revealed him to be Martian Manhunter, right? His character, I mean, it does fit, and I thought it was fun, but I felt that he was shoehorned in. Like the whole him talking to Lois didn't make sense. Like, why is Martian Manhunter pretending to be Clark's mom to cheer up Lois? That makes zero sense. It makes more sense to me. And that was one of the reshoots. Of the 4 minutes of reshoots that he did, his claimed 4 minutes of reshoots was the Jared Leto Joker, which the word on the interwebs is that was ad-libbed, that was all what's his face, Leto speaking what he wanted to do for his Joker. So it was that, and then the scenes for the post-credit scene with Martian Manhunter visiting Bruce, and then the Martian Manhunter, like after the conversation between Lois Lane and then turning into Martian Manhunter, like those were all those additions, supposedly.
Sorry, guys.
I don't think he genuinely cares.
But past that part, well, not the ending, but the first Martian Manhunter.
Got it.
Yeah,
what were you going to say, someone?
It's I get what you're saying, and yeah, it does feel shoehorned in, but it's like the whole thing with Snyder and the WB executives is just a complete shit show. It's horrible, you know. They limited him. A lot of people think that it was, you know, Warner Brothers ended up handing him over that check. It wasn't Warner Brothers. It was AT&T that did that, because AT&T owns Warner Brothers. So AT&T said, here's your $70 million, finish your movie, you know, because AT&T owns Warner Brothers, which they own HBO Max, so they're trying to get more subscribers. So here's your $70 million, finish your movie. Essentially is what's happening, or is what
Yeah.
happened. I know that he wanted Martian Manhunter because there's a lot of things that I've been reading. So at the very end, where you see Martian Manhunter, that wasn't supposed to be Martian Manhunter. He had a completely different take on that. He wanted someone else to be there. The Martian Manhunter that we saw when he was talking to Lois, he was supposed to have more dialogue. It was supposed to be a build up to meeting Lois, and we got what we got.
Mm.
There's also rumors going around that if Snyder had his way and was able to put together the movie that he wanted, then we're looking at almost 6 hours. So there's also
I
that.
believe that completely. Yeah.
So there's also that. But
I mean, the guy, and I said this fucking weeks leading up to this movie. He is a beautiful cinematographer.
he's a beautiful man.
He is gorgeous. No, yeah, he has such an ability to capture certain things, and and I'm just like watching certain scenes. I'm like, that is fucking awesome.
The cinematography's fucking fantastic.
Really is, but I will say this. And I guess we're getting into this now. We're getting into that Snyder cut. Spoiler alert already hit. I was genuinely impressed with his ability to tell a story.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't think he had it in him. I really didn't. And the fact that he changed the tone so much from Batman vs Superman to this, I thought he did it well. Genuinely better than the first version of the film, although there were certain scenes that I missed that I was like, I know that was a Snyder version shot because you can tell the weight difference between Affleck. And so there were certain scenes that were like the scene when he meets Aquaman. So I hear you can talk to fish. Like that was kind of an asshole way to talk to Aquaman. They cut that out, which I thought was interesting. But I understand why they wanted to take all the zingers out to keep it more serious tone to make the loss heavier.
It had zingers, but the zingers went to the appropriate characters,
and they hit. When you saw that scene where Flash sees Superman see him, that was like, I want to say that was one of the first big comedic things that happened in the movie. Like I was watching it with my lady and she laughed out loud when she saw it. And we watched it in 3 sittings, by the way, because she wasn't having it. But she laughed out loud and and I was like, oh, and I kind of gave me that reassurance. I'm like, oh, you're enjoying this. Right. But yeah, I don't know. There's a lot in there. I'll popcorn it to somebody else. Andres, what do you think so far?
I have not finished yet. That movie is long as fuck. I'm enjoying everything so far. I have like little quibbles with it. Like, I don't like that they used them. I understand why they did it. It adds to the story that he's telling, but I don't like that they used the mother box to resurrect Clark. Like that's not what happens in the comic books, and it kind of takes away from Superman as a character because. When Doomsday killed him in the comics, he didn't really die. He like rested and recovered. Everybody thought he died. His life force was like really diminished, and then he just came back for whatever happens to that storyline. I don't want to. I know it's been out for like 20 something years.
20 years.
Yeah. I'm not going to ruin it. Go read it. But yeah, that's like a small quibble I have with it. I'm enjoying it so far. I haven't got to the end of it. To mention the Martian Manhunter part, I don't know why he told Lois, but it was like from that saying, as soon as he like changed and he said like, oh, we need you back in the world to Lois or some shit like that. So that's kind of what I took from it. I'm enjoying it a lot. It is a really good movie so far, so I'll finish it tomorrow, I hope.
Dig it. Ash, thoughts?
I kind of felt one, I cried 3 times. I just getting the wussy shit out of the way.
Same, twice.
Um,
Wait, what parts? I need to know.
Gal Gadot was amazing. I'm just starting off with that.
You just completely blew past your question.
It's all good.
I'm thinking of the what I want to say. Sorry, what was your question?
No, I said what parts did you cry? Because I'm like, yeah, I cried twice. What parts?
Okay, fine. The dad scene, the goodbye scene. I'm still trying not to spoil it for Andreas. Even though they show it in the trailer.
Mm.
Only because he was a dick through the whole movie, and then
No, that was one of mine for sure.
The mom seeing her son for the second time.
The mom seeing her son?
You
when she drives up because they brought back Superman.
I already seen that part.
Okay, that part.
Okay.
I get that.
Where Clark and Lois are in his
cornfield?
his house, the cornfield, and Martha Kent drives up.
Mm-hmm.
And then this one was a weird one. It just made me tear up. I wasn't bawling or anything. But the part where
Ariane was in the prison.
Yeah, the "Don't ever say that to me again" part.
Yes. Yeah. Dude, oh my god.
It was so much. It was way more of a bigger deal in this one than it was like, you know what I mean? Like, just let me go. The way it was done in the original was kind of like a regular dad bro, like bro, like no bro.
Right.
Yeah.
No,
I'm your best friend. Dad,
I lied.
Like
4 times.
Take it off, bro. But this one was more like, you are never going anywhere if you continue to do that. And then what paid off was how happy he was not listening to him at the end when he said
and that's what I was gonna say. That part when he's like my son is. Oh my god, that wrecked me. I was like, it was a good fucking scene. Like I was trying to keep it together because again the girlfriend was next to me, and she has this thing where anytime I start to feel emotional in a movie, like she'll always turn and be like, "Are you crying?" And which is just that's opening the floodgate, like you know. And so like I'm trying to keep my shit together. I'm just like trying to watch this movie, but like my eyes are just bloodshot. Anyway, so aside from the crying, thank you for telling us what parts.
I think it was a better story because he only had Diana, and then Diana, did her part to get Cyborg, and like Cyborg probably wouldn't have even been in it if it wasn't for Diana. The Amber Heard part was great. Batman losing his shit on Alfred, like, I made the man a fucking promise. Like, he didn't say fucking. By the way, it had a lot of cussing in it. I didn't even fucking expect that. That was awesome.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like, just, I don't know. It was a well-rounded. I almost feel like Zack Snyder's did like if I have to say goodbye, this was your story. Like, maybe it was 4 hours because I didn't get the 6 hours. But this is my almost like my goodbye, like a full story. With still the little bit of with the end, the portal is still with a little bit of the end. Like if they hire me back, you still can get this. But
oh my god, I got straight chills. That scene when the portal was closing and you see fucking Superman in front of the Justice League, and they're all just fucking staring right at Darkseid staring at them like. Bring it, bitch. Like it was just such a Superman looked fucking fearless. Like he was just fucking
absolutely.
Oh my god, just all of it. And then Bruce walks up and they all walk up and it's like you see the Trinity, you see the other ones then pan out and they're just standing there. Like no words are said, but just like bring it, motherfucker, we're gonna fuck you up.
The last blow was from Wonder Woman. Like it was fucking great fucking
that movie. Felt weird, didn't it? Like to see her decapitate somebody, that didn't feel weird to you?
No,
like
not really.
Comic book version, yes, she would absolutely have done that. But like in the cinematic universe they've created, this is the same one that was like doing slip and fall shit in the second Wonder Woman, just cut someone's head off. and launched it into a fucking portal. That didn't feel
if
weird
I
to
talked
anybody?
you into being into this group, and I talked you into it, and then all of a sudden it cost you your dad. It could cost the world, but you know what I mean. Like, still, like it was a good fucking moment.
Mm-hmm.
Like that it was her and not Superman, or not.
I agree.
And then also,
right.
I love that Batman. You know, like Batman versus Superman. It was like, okay, you guys go handle Doomsday. Bye bye. But this one, because of the gauntlets, he was like fucking like in the game. You know.
See, but in the first version of the film that we got, we saw him deflecting shit, but we didn't really understand why, nor did we really question it. We were just kind of like, oh, okay, he's in there.
He's Batman.
Yeah.
It's like he's Batman. He can do shit. Cool.
But like, it's so funny how that 30 seconds of dialogue just meant everything.
Yeah.
About how it absorbs energy, and when he goes up against Superman later, and it absorbs the energy, and fucking he has to take it off because it was too much energy. Like. But it's
and two, it
30
makes
seconds.
Why Superman could hit this guy and Batman hits him, and it's almost like the equivalent, like because of the energy, you know.
That's
good fucking movie.
And it speaks nerd to us because we're like, makes sense. Like, you know, some like a normal person would watch and be like, that's not how energy works, you know.
Like, no. Fucking scientist, shut up.
Bruce knows his shit. He knows atoms and molecules and shit, right?
He's fixing a fucking airplane throughout that movie. Shut the fuck up.
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh my god. But Carmen, what did you think of Snyder Cut?
I could definitely tell that this is a Snyder movie. Just the cinematography, as you guys already covered, it was done very differently. At least to me, it appeared so. Some of it worked, some of it didn't. The first thing that didn't work for me, and I know it was different because, as you said, when he meets Aquaman, there's like a little comedic thing when Aquaman takes off. But then the girl starts singing with a Nordic song. Like, that didn't work for me at all. I was like, okay, why is she smelling his sweater?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. That's the only
I was
part.
like,
I forgot about that. You're absolutely right. Like when it first started, that was like within the first hour, right? Like I'm watching it, or within the first 30 minutes, and I'm just like, I'm in for a shit show. Like, and then it ended up like picking up, like, but
redeeming itself.
He does do weird shit in his films, though. Like, and it's so funny. It's so funny you say it like that. That is like, oh yeah, like it's definitely a Zack Snyder film. Like, you know,
it really was, because I was like, okay. See, when I saw that, I was like, is this how like it's gonna go? But I gave it a chance, and I liked more of the movie. There was another scene that didn't quite work for me, and it was one of the slow-mos. It was the one with Flash and the dogs when he's at the trying to be like a dog walker or whatever, and then Iris West, like we get introduced to the character of Iris West, and he like caresses her cheek like that. Just
really,
no, that really bothered me, because I mean, you don't know her, but you're touching her cheek knowing that she doesn't know that you just touched her cheek, because it's happening really fast. It's a little bit weird, just a little bit weird.
No, it's absolutely.
I understand like what it was trying to do, the connection that they had, like totally. But it's a little bit bothersome.
It was absolutely weird, but
it was meant to come off as endearing, but it came off more as creepy.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, I would agree, but it's like, what better character to portray that than him? I thought it. Consider like, yeah, that's weird, and he also doesn't know, like he doesn't have friends. He's very antisocial because of what happened, and he has these powers, but he doesn't. So to me, it still fit. Like, I enjoy it because unlike the Marvel, and I think we've talked about this a lot, like unlike the Marvel universe where they get full films / shows to introduce these characters, and so Warner Brothers is like, hey, we need to catch up, and let's just get into this film. And this is the only introduction we get to each of these characters. Like, this is a kid, this is a jock that is now a scientist, or that's now this cyborg. Yeah, and so like all these different characters of like this is who we are, and go. And so I thought that in that short scene, it really depicted on how immature he was and how the type of person that he was. But it also does come off creepy, like with what was it? The Amazing Spider-Man. He was like a Spider-Man stalker. He's like following Gwen Stacy and shit. And it's like, it was supposed to come off endearing, like you said, Esteban, to use your words. But then it's like, were you following me? And he's like, yeah. And it's like, that's a stalker, dude. Like, you don't, like, he's like on rooftops and shit, like watching Gwen Stacy do whatever she's doing. You love that coffee shop. Like, no, dude, that's a restraining order.
But I mean, those were the two things that didn't work for me from like most of the movie. So that's pretty good. Two scenes,
Yeah.
I loved Wonder Woman, how she was like badass. That's what I was expecting in Wonder Woman 84, but didn't get. I don't know what happened with that.
I was going to hit on that too. Like, I think that strikes a lot for all of us, especially seeing this version of the film after 84. It's like, fuck, why didn't we have more of this instead of making those goofy, silly ass scenes?
Dude, with when she was deflecting, like they elaborated more on it in this version than they did in the first one, when she's deflecting all the machine gun shots. Of like, boom, 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 and then she like goes in, sweeps the dude, just fucking everybody up. It's like, oh my god, you are amazing.
Speaking of
the
which,
aggression level, I loved it. I was like,
and then just seeing her eviscerate him with when she
gauntlets.
Hell yeah.
I feel like what they were trying for in 84, he accomplished in this movie. When the mall scene, and then you girls can grow up to be like me, like
yes,
yeah,
okay.
yes,
Okay,
100%, and that actually hit. No tears, but I was like, like, it was just a beautiful scene.
Which
like,
is weird considering Patty Jenkins did the first one, and that hit on all marks, and it just totally missed on that second one. Because I swear that fucking mall scene is probably the worst part of that movie, and that's saying a lot. I mean, but yeah.
I mean, coming right off of Patty Jenkins' Wonder Woman, when we saw Justice League, the Joss Whedon, I was not happy with their interpretation of Wonder Woman. I was like, this isn't the same person. But then we got 84, and then we got this version again. It's like, I'll take this. Like, give me more of this. Yeah. What you're saying.
Absolutely.
Oh, Jesus. Yeah, no, she was, God, so badass.
I like that we got more backstory. I like that we got more background on the cyborg character.
Yes.
It was like a mini movie of himself throughout the whole movie, because it was mostly like his development and how we get to see him kind of become cyborg or like own his shit. So I like that a lot, actually, the character arc that he had. And then like his little lines was like the machines are talking to him, leaving like the Batman ship, and like your thing is trying to fly or whatever. Like I thought it was cool.
It wants to fly, yeah, because he can talk to. Oh God, and just what he did to that woman when she, like, the single mom working at the fast food place, like, oh my, actually, you know what? I think I got hit on the feels a lot of times, like, just to see her struggle and
that
see
hit me on the feel.
How happy she was to see the money, and like, Jesus Christ, like, fucking A, like, oh, God damn it.
You know how it showed the backstory of how he hacked into the computer system to give his friend a higher grade, and how the dean or whatever was talking down to his mom, and his mom's all, it's like, he went in there and did it. What did you do to help hit this student out? It was like, and how she explained, like, he's a good boy.
Heart.
He's a good man. He's got a good heart. and it shows like after he got his powers and he was dealing with his shit, the loss of his mom, the loss of his body, and having to deal with that he's a fucking robot now. That he still used his powers for good for somebody else.
What sucks is that there's so much depth there too, because in saying he was genuinely a good person, right? He has a good heart, and then like during the recording, he's like, "Oh, you're gonna have the ability to do so many things, but you have to ask yourself, should you do those things?"
Yeah.
Like in a
Yeah.
standalone film, that could have been explored so much, and which we'll never get. Like, and that and I do want to circle back onto the talk a little bit more about the Snyder shit, but this hashtag restore Snyderverse, I'm thinking pull the plug, let it go, let this be the end, let this just be done. I don't really particularly care to let's see where this is gonna go. Like I enjoy watching this the way I keep quoting you on this, Esteban, but I thought it was beautifully said. Enjoying this as if it was a one shot and genuinely, because there are some one shots that leave with cliffhangers and then that's it, and then that leaves that ability to have conversations when you get drunk with your friends and say, fuck, imagine if this shit happened, no, this would have been cool, and then you have these little fan theories and stuff. I think it should just die here. Not to say that I didn't like this, I genuinely enjoyed it. What do you guys think?
I'll go because I had something to say off that. Um, there was other rumors and stuff that came out this week that he was planning on introducing Batgirl, uh, and he was saying some shit about having Batgirl take the role of Batman since Bruce Wayne would have passed, and passing the role to Clark's and Lois Lane's son, and he would become. I was like, it's like, yeah, I could do without that. Add Have this be canon in the DC extended universe, but fuck all that other shit that Zack Snyder was talking about. Just have this movie be part of the canon, and yeah, it could stop there. Like we don't have to have him go on and produce other movies or write other shit, but have this be part of the canon of the extended universe.
I agree. I mean, don't get me wrong. Before the movie was released, I saw his notes, his outline notes that he put for Justice League 2 and Justice League 3. And reading those, it was actually pretty cool. Like, did I want to see that? Yeah, absolutely. It would have been cool. But now hearing that, you know, being that Clark and Lois would have had a child, and then Bruce sacrificing himself, and now their child, who's half human, half Kryptonian, who would possibly have powers, to go ahead and be Batman, it doesn't fit at all. It doesn't fit at all. I would say leave it as is and just have the fan theories out there, have the fans make their own movie from there. I'd love to see a fan film of the continuation of the nightmare scene. Like, that would be dope. It's like the nightmare scene was something that I didn't know that I wanted. You know what I mean? To see that, at the very, very end, that was cool. So
hmm. Carmen?
I think it should be a standalone. I think, like Andres said, be it canon, but let's not try to get more involved into it. Like, we got it. Thank you. We didn't know we wanted. Well, whatever. We got it. So let's just leave it as what it was. It was beautifully. It was a beautifully done project. I know that if he would have had the chance to make it the true way that he wanted to, it would be even more Snyder. And I say
Uh-huh.
that because like there'd be a lot more slow mos than we already got, and the quirky things that happened. I don't mind them. They work sometimes, they don't work sometimes, but overall, like it's it's a good movie. And it's better than the last version that we got. So, and that says a lot. You know what I mean? But definitely, let's not get carried away.
yeah, and I'm sorry, but that whole slow motion, I got sick of it by the second time. I saw slow motion. I got sick of it, and I think someone broke it down that 10% of that movie is slow motion.
Yeah.
10%
Really?
of that
You
movie
know
is
I
slow
what?
didn't even
motion.
notice it that bad.
Yeah.
The one thing that did work for me were like when you slow down on like the battle scenes with Flash, like I can
Mhm.
see how that
I
really
like
does
that.
work. You know, like even the at the end when he's going into the Speed Force, like I
Oh my
appreciated that.
god,
I appreciate the way that was done.
that was such
But in other
a
ways, like it just didn't work.
Yeah.
powerful scene too, where he's like, I can't hold it. Like when he's just,
Oh,
oh
when
my
he's doing
god,
the
like
charge, yeah.
dude, I'm rooting for him like so hard. I'm just like hang in there, buddy. Like
Yeah, and that's the thing
God,
is
so
like
good.
in the Justice League, it was like Flash was more of a throwaway character in that
Oh
film.
yeah, he's like, oh, I'm gonna push
Yeah.
this car over here.
You know,
I'm
it
gonna run
was
over there. Yeah.
yeah, this one, it gave him depth. It gave him, yeah, absolutely. I mean, a cyborg's like, oh, I'm gonna need a charge, and Barry's like, I can do it. I can hold a charge. Let me go
He's
ahead and
up,
do it.
but is that what we still want to do? Like,
Right, exactly.
and I mean, there's a scene in the Justice League that wasn't horrible, where he was terrified and he's like, I've never done battle. I like that you guys are all fearless, but I've only pushed people and run away. And then Batman says, one. He's like, what? Save one. Save one person.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, then what? It's like, you'll know. And so the fight starts, he saves one person, and then he's like, oh, keep doing that. And then he just, so I thought that, seeing little scenes like that, I'm just like, that was cool. And
and
I can't tell if that was like one of the Joss Whedon reshoots or if that was a Snyder shot.
And that's what I'm saying. It's like he added so much more to the film, going back to the slow mos, like I think the only one that should actually have slow mos in the film would be Flash, and it doesn't have to be all the time, because when he saved the group of people from the parademons, and then you saw the rubble starting to come down, didn't have to do slow mo. They didn't do slow mo. That shit looked fucking dope, when he was in midair deflecting the rubble that was coming down, like the to see him tap into the Speed Force at the very end, like that was fucking perfect. Like it was perfect.
And he made a comment to it early on in the film too. He says, in order for me to get a charge that big, I have to run a little bit faster than the speed of light, which he's like, which I've told myself I wouldn't do anymore, but I'll do it. So that also leads to, you've done it before. Like, where did you go? And so so much more that can be dived into. Like, did anybody see the extended cut of Batman vs Superman?
Mm-hmm.
And would you not agree that was I mean, it wasn't my favorite film, but would you not agree that it was a much better film than what was better in theaters?
It was better.
And so
in theaters.
It's like you give the guy enough time. In this case, fucking 4 hours. He'll give you a more complete film, but it's like it just takes him. It takes him a little bit to get going. It's like the little engine that could.
Right, and that's the thing, is that everyone wants the Snyderverse restored and stuff, but WB exec said that was the end of his trilogy. It was Man of Steel, Batman vs Superman, and Justice League. That was it. That was his trilogy. But a lot of people don't realize that by AT&T giving him this fat check to go ahead and finish his film, I think the numbers came out today or yesterday. HBO Max ended up getting the Justice League film got 1.8 million views from last Thursday to today, I think. So, I mean, if it happens and enough people ask for it or are constantly tweeting it, and it could happen. Do I want it to happen? Probably not, but
Do you want a recasting of everything, or just maybe not another Justice League, but more of the same Wonder Woman and the same?
No, keep the actors. Definitely keep the actors. Are you kidding me? Keep the actors. I think even it's been said that Ray Fisher would come back as Cyborg under one condition: if he was being directed by Snyder. That is it.
I think
Snyder or somebody else, but yeah.
Yes, it is someone else. It's Snyder and someone else. I forget the person.
I'll pull it up.
Yeah.
I think they should just by the sheer handling of it, by them constantly not wanting to do it, denying that it existed, and then saying they're not going to put it out, and then finally putting it out, and then fucking leaking it onto the fucking
Under Tom and
Tom
Jerry.
and Jerry.
yeah, Tom and Jerry.
Mhm.
I think they've proved that they don't know what the fuck they're doing. The heads of Warner
Mhm.
Brothers, the heads of whoever, Jeff Johns and whoever else they have running the DC extended universe, is
Mhm.
that they should just be sacked, put a new head to Warner Brothers, put a new head as somebody else in charge of the DC extended universe, and not Zack Snyder for this, somebody
Hey,
else,
that's fair.
and move forward. You don't have to change the actors. The movies stand as a canon, and
Mhm.
you just go forward with a new vision. But you start with new management, new people in charge.
Yeah. And did you hear that one of the stipulations that Zack Snyder had to do was he had to come out publicly saying that Josh Whedon's Justice League was and is canon and his film is not?
No,
Yeah.
Mm.
that sounds petty.
Yeah. That
We're
when they
not
asked
wrong.
him-
Even though your movie's better, we're not wrong.
and that's essentially what it's coming down to, is that,
God.
it sucks, that he was dealt this hand and
Yeah.
that he had to deal with everything that he dealt with, losing, his daughter and then having to step away and then, his dream or his movie being turned into a piece of crap, and then fighting to get what he wanted. And
So rough.
even
Yeah.
then he didn't get what he wanted. You know what I mean? He didn't get fully what he wanted.
But this is probably the closest thing to justice that we can get. Like, and
I see what you're saying.
no, that wasn't, no pun intended. But I don't know. I feel. Do I want to recast everything and start over? No. Like when I heard that they were gonna do Man of Steel, I dreamed at the idea that they would bring Christian Bale to meet Henry Cavill. I was like, that would be the fucking shit. And then when they recasted Affleck, that's when I got bummed out. So do I want to recast? No. But all I want is I want to continue with whatever the vision of the current executives are. Let's continue with that. And they had already scrapped Snyder, and so this is a diamond in the rough. We didn't think this was going to happen. We got it. So yay. Now let's not get greedy. Let's not be like, oh, give us everything. Like, let's bring back all the actors and all the things. And it's not going to happen that way. I'm surprised even this happened because I thought it was ridiculous that everyone was complaining. But like, there are legitimate movements right now to restore the Snyderverse. Like one of them is for every release that HBO Max puts out. And I follow this person that's like really big on Snyderverse. It's like one of the pleas is like they have a timetable. During these time slots, you have to hashtag restore Snyderverse is the hashtag. And then the other thing was with every HBO Max movie that comes out, let's get more views for Justice League than for that movie that's coming out to show them that we need it. But it's like at which point are you just gonna hit play and then go get groceries? Like you're not sitting and watching it every time. I don't know.
True.
No,
you're absolutely
I'm like,
right.
Come on, guys. Like, what are we doing here?
You're absolutely right, and that's the thing. And like, even a lot of people were saying that they were going to cancel their HBO Max subscription after Justice League. After it came out, and even Snyder came out saying, "Don't cancel. Like, what are you guys doing?" Like he's
dumb fucks. I get a portion of that check.
Well, no, it's not only that, but like he's come out saying like, I'm thankful for everyone that fought for this, for every hashtag that was tweeted, for every, blah blah blah, this and that. I'm extremely thankful. Without that, this wouldn't have happened.
Yeah.
I think even he knows in the back of his head like he's done. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like he's done. He wants to move on to other things. He wants to do other things. I mean, there's a possibility that Marvel may tap him to do something, and
do we think that'll happen? That'd be very interesting if they tried that.
Like
he'd be like, hey, motherfucker, what do you think about Deadpool? You think you can do it? Like, give him a rated R title?
No, I don't think they would.
No,
I wouldn't want to. I'm just saying, like
not a Morbius. What's it? Lobo would be cool.
But he's not Marvel.
Oh yeah, it's another DC.
Fuck me.
Yeah.
I was gonna agree. I was gonna agree with you.
Morbius.
For
Yeah.
The
Lobos.
only way I see Snyder going to the Marvel universe is if they try to do what they did with Punisher Warzone, dropping something
Punisher.
under the Marvel Knights title. You know, the grittier,
Or Blade.
darker. You know that.
Blade
You
would be
know
good, too.
because they're rebooting Blade, aren't they?
they are, yes, but I think
So-
Blade already has a director, so yeah.
And an actor.
And an actor. Yeah,
Kick them both out. I'm just kidding.
no, I think
Wesley
I think,
Snipes at 60 is
Nope.
Blade.
They
Hell
cast
no. Mahershala Ali.
Mahershala Ali for it. So
Dude,
I think
that's
That guy's
the
an
perfect
Oscar, right?
casting.
Yeah, perfect casting.
Yeah, you're good.
Perfect casting.
Either the movie was an Oscar or he won an Oscar, but something. He's an
Oh, I
Oscar.
thought you were
he
talking
won an
about
Oscar.
Blade. I'm like, Blade did not win an Oscar.
Part 3 did.
It's
I think
funny
for
because
what,
that was
makeup?
the worst one.
That's the joke, you.
Yeah, so that's the only way I see Snyder coming to the Marvel Cinematic Universe is if they release something under the Marvel Knights, the dark, gritty,
The Dark series, yeah.
You know, if they do that, then
You know what would be legit though? Like, you know how they did Brightburn that we talked
Mhm.
about in the last episode?
yeah,
And Brightburn was the alternate universe of what could have happened with Superman.
oh yeah, for
Is if he was to just create his own characters, but is obviously this character's supposed to be Batman, this character's supposed to be Superman, blah blah blah.
sure. Oh well, yeah,
And he just does that, and it's like this
Right.
is what would have been like. I mean,
no, for sure, because at the very end of Brightburn, in the credits, they show a possible Justice League, you know, at the very end.
oh, I don't remember that.
Dude, like,
Yeah,
and
dude.
it's
Like
Michael.
that's what we're talking about, a sequel to that movie last time.
Yeah, and
No,
it's,
I know, but I don't remember that. Like, I remember as the credits were going,
Yeah.
we were showing like the news
Of what- yeah, the
articles
different-
of all the different destruction shit.
Right,
But I
right.
don't remember the Justice League shit. No
Yeah, it
way,
was
that's
the evil
fucking
Justice League.
It was an evil Justice League.
that's
and
fucking
Because
cool.
there's other super villain or
Yeah,
super powered
and-
villains.
now what would be dope is if they turned that and did like a crime syndicate.
Okay. All right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like if that whole series turned into the crime syndicate.
Oh my
that would
god,
be dope.
has anyone
Uh,
read the comic
ahead.
series called Forever Evil?
Yes.
Fucking A, that Forever Evil in a movie. That's where all the essentially the villains win, but
Mhm.
then the not so villains realize like this is some pretty heinous shit. We should
Yeah.
maybe not do this, and so they start revolting to kind of turn the tide.
Yeah. It's really
It's
cool,
fucking
dude.
good.
It's
Yeah.
that's a really good book, but it's I think at the very end of Brightburn, it's Michael Rooker, the guy that plays Yondu, that is a newscaster, and he's talking about this, or it's on YouTube. It's on YouTube, and he's like he's doing a podcast or whatever, and he's talking about him, and he goes, yeah, over in I forget where he said. I think he says like in Greece, there's a woman that jumps around and hangs men by their throat with a lasso and this and that, and then he goes, there's this sea creature that's half man, half fish that's underwater, and he's destroying all the fishing boats, and it's nuts. It's nuts. It's actually pretty cool because I think he hits like all of them. I think he does Superman. I think there's Batman that he does, Wonder Woman, Aquaman, and I think even Flash
Fucking legit, yo.
yeah, so
I was gonna say, but that goes against if DC wanted, there's always their Elseworld series that if they wanted to make a film that doesn't have to be in canon, that could play on the stories of any of the characters, they have a series called Elseworlds where they play. It's like a what if, like like fucking Superman landed in Russia instead. So they have the Red Sun. So they have stuff like that throughout. So they could always play with that if they
But here's
wanted.
the thing, though. What if the what if is better than the thing that you're trying to make a franchise?
So what, man?
I think that's why they maybe wouldn't do that.
Because you could always just slap that Elseworld moniker on it, Elseworld,
Mhm.
so and so, put the title of the movie. And
Yeah.
even if it does good, well, you could always just keep that Elseworld there. And it's like, because we're already getting alternate versions of the fucking Robert Pattinson.
Mhm.
He's not going to be canon with this extended universe. It's good, like its own thing.
Yeah.
That's true.
and they're gonna have a Joker, and the fucking Joker, Joaquin Phoenix's Joker, and Jared Leto's Joker. So, I mean, I don't know. Yeah.
I dig it. A lot of interesting things. Let us know what you guys think in the comments of whatever platform you listen to the shit on. Anyone have any other comments on Justice League or the Snyderverse or anything before we move on?
Nope.
I don't know. Didn't we spend half an hour on this?
Yeah, we really did. We had a lot to say. All right, well, that takes us to our Falcon and Bucky spoiler review for episode 1. I know we have our own sound effects now, but Carmen, if you could do the honors.
I
There
was
it
not
is.
but yes, go ahead.
All right, Ash, kick us off. What did we think on Falcon Winter Soldier?
The hard part is that we film on Thursday and it comes out on Friday, so it's hard to remember what I saw. I think it was awesome. I like that's what's amazing about these fucking. That's what I think about these miniseries is like, I didn't know I cared about Sam.
Yeah.
I was almost like, well, I'm the guy that like don't change my characters. I'm one of those guys. But like when he gave it to Sam, only because of
Gross.
Marvel game, I knew he became and the comic book. So I know they were going with at least the comic book that he was at least Captain America for a little bit. But and he may be now. I don't follow. But I didn't. There wasn't anything put into him. It was Iron Man. I mean, there were so many people to feed, so many mouths to feed. Like
Yeah.
Thor needs his time. Fucking Bruce Banner needs his. Everybody needed time. That like, it was almost like Scarlet Witch is like, okay, cool, she's in the scene. But now I can watch Civil War not Civil War. Yeah, Civil War and the one with Crossbones. Winter Soldier. No.
No, Civil War.
Civil War.
Crossbones?
I can watch Civil War and care about Scarlet Witch because of all her backstory that I know now.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
It's funny you say that. I've been wanting to rewatch that, but please continue.
No, just that. I like the remorse that Winter Soldier's trying to make up for with everything, and why is he watching over this old guy? I thought he was just his neighbor, but then you really figure out,
Yes.
fucking,
He's trying to make amends.
yeah, it's almost like a 12-step program.
It's part of, it's exactly it. It was part of his list, and
then I like the scene with the therapist. She's dealt with him being silent so many times. This is how she figures out how to, like, if she writes in the book, it means something and it's a consequence, you know? So
It reminds me of my therapist. I'm like,
I'm laughing at the scene, not the.
No, I get it.
That, and I like that we haven't gotten them to like re-meet or I don't know, man. It's just
they're like baiting us with it. Like you want, I know you want it. Like you know, so that when it does happen, we all cheer.
Now we get scenes with the sister. We get scenes with her kids. We get scenes with the boat. We get an explanation of why he doesn't have Tony Stark money. We get a lot.
Okay,
I thought that was important. Yeah, go ahead, but I keen in with you.
No, go first because mine's going to be off topic. Go ahead.
I love the show. For everything that Ash said, except that I kind of actually am enjoying that they didn't pay so much attention to the, I won't call them ancillary, but not like the mains. And we get to see some of the, I won't say B Squad. I guess the other characters like Wanda, and we're getting Sam and Winter Soldier.
Yeah,
and we get to see them in the shows because we may not know as much about these characters, and by we I mean general public, not necessarily us, of these characters as we do like Captain America or Bruce Banner or Iron Man or whatever. So we get to meet them more, and it gets extended because they're at this series. So I think that's played well. But I think the most thing I got from it is how Sam talks about that he doesn't have money because he was a Avenger. Like they weren't getting money for that. He was just doing it because he's a fucking hero, and that's what he was doing. Like I think that was really important.
Fuck yeah. Which is so crazy to consider. It's like, wait, you weren't getting paid for this shit? Like,
Like
weren't
you
you
fucking
contracted with the
disappeared.
government? Yeah.
You fucking disappeared for 5 years, and you got nothing. And
I've had conversations where it's like, you can't show up and just fucking care. I've been dealing with this for like 5 years, like trying to keep the boat, and you show up and you're finding out that we're losing it, and now you care now when I've been caring for 5 years. Like, great team, great fucking scene. I've been in those.
And what's and okay, Esteban and Ash, you work in banking the way I do.
Yeah.
Did any of did you two call bullshit when they were like, oh, you don't have income for 5 years? Oh, the blip? Yeah, we know it's a global thing, but yeah, there's nothing we can do. Like, there was so much government. Well, there was so much government assistance during the COVID stuff. Like, me as a banker, I'm just watching this. I'm just like, that's not true. That's not how they would work that. Like, it would have to go through a special program. It would go through this, and then I got shushed by my girlfriend for.
After this pandemic, I'm sure there's gonna be promos to get business back. So
there's promos going on now.
Yeah, I was gonna say the PPP loan, like. And that's what I'm talking about. Like okay, this blip that happens. Like, really, there's no help at all. Like, and this, God, I called bullshit, but I was like, but that guy's just a dick, and that's how I was able to get back into the show. I'm like, oh no, it's that guy. That guy sucks. Especially he's like, can I have a selfie after he denied him for the fucking loan? I'm like, you piece of shit. Like, he's like, are you serious right now? Like, oh my God. Esteban, what you think?
Well, Ash, you look like you had something that you had. Oh, okay, never mind. Put him on the spot. So I really dug the very first episode. That very first episode was really, really good. It was, and there's a lot of things that I've been seeing, especially like on TikTok, when I'm going through TikTok trying to come up with stuff for our fans as far as content goes. There's a lot of content creators on there that are veterans, and that we follow, so a lot of them voice their opinion about how Bucky's going through therapy, and it's just like, yeah, you know what, that's pretty much the therapy that we've had to deal with. It's very like, shut the fuck up, and you need to
just
open your, or
that's so like, fucking cool that they're able to show that.
Yeah, and then the same thing with the whole income thing that Sam was dealing with. It's just kind of like, it's so accurate, that a lot of veterans are have and are dealing with that.
You put your life on the line and you have nothing to show for it. Like,
exactly.
We're not going to give you any money, but thanks for risking your life, by the way. Like,
absolutely,
that's so true.
It's crazy, you know what I mean? I mean, being just like that scene, that whole scene when Sam thought that, like, yeah, you know what, like, we qualify for the SBA loan, all this, and I'm like, oh, okay, cool. It's like, that's cool. Is it going to work out? Like, hold on, wait a minute. You're telling me that what, like, so I get it. Like, my background, my career background, like, I'm listening to this, I'm like, you're full of shit, dude. Like, there's no way that, so there's that, and then to say, like, you haven't had any income for the last 5 years. And I'm like, wait, hold up, time out. What? Excuse me? Like, he wasn't getting, like, he did this out of his own free will. Like, he sacrificed, and the scene that Ash was talking about, the brother and sister banter, I get it, but I think it's very, I don't know. I feel it's very chicken shit that when they put family members up like that in a film or in a movie, it's just like, well, you knew shit was happening, but you decided to join the army or join the Marine Corps. It's just like I view that joining the military as a higher call than the shit that you're dealing with at home. It's not the fact that they're running away from it. This is what they want to do.
An argument can be made, though, of that being said, like, to go back on what you were saying, what you saw on TikTok of the ex-military, like, that is such a common fight that they get, you know, like the wife that is married to the guy that's going to the military that's getting deployed, and she's angry, but she feels that she shouldn't be angry because he's going to go fight for his country, but she can't help the feelings that she feels. And I thought that they displayed that like beautifully, because even the sister said, I know you're saving the world, but I'm fighting for us. I'm fighting for this. I'm fighting for our parents' legacy. Like, so she didn't say like, where the fuck have you been, so much as it is like, I'm tired. I've been fighting for this forever, and now you're here, and you think like if we're holding them together, like obviously there's no comparison. Of
course, absolutely.
But I thought it was like, in watching it, I felt like I was Sam. You know, like I was the hero. Like I fought for the country too. Like, but just like the viewer that way, and then you see this, and it's like, and I just those
are the scenes you're not going to get in the movie.
True, because those will be the deleted scenes or whatever. Yeah, no, and this is the development, and what Esteban was saying just a little bit ago, Ash, is that the therapy sessions and everything is very similar to people that get out of the military, and that they were able to relate to it in those senses. And I didn't even think of it that way, and I just think that that's such a beautiful way to tap into it, of just like, hey, we're gonna tell your story. You know, like, oh, you're this person that fought for a country, and you've had, you know, soldiers die in front of you, and we won't give you a fucking loan.
Right.
Also, thank you for protecting us. Like,
exactly.
Such a fucking horseshit.
And it's part of his fucking not release. It's part of his, help me, the word
contract.
No, it's part of his not forgiveness, when the country
pardon.
It's part of his pardon. Thank you. We came up at the same time.
About two separate things.
No. The therapy is part of his pardon. Everything.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Is part of his pardon. It was fucking cool. Like,
right.
I don't know, man. That's fucking cool.
No, yeah, it's great. But I get what you're saying, Luis, where it's like we, like, as a viewer, and we followed Sam, you know, and it's like you felt like, you know, he fought for the country and all this and that. But I also see what the sister's saying. It's like, you left, you fought for the country, and I get it, and I understand that, and I'm not diminishing that you went and you fought, you put your life on the line. I'm not diminishing that at all. But you need to understand A, B, C, and D. You know, you can't just come back and be like, I'm an Avenger, give me some cash, you know, or your Avenger card's going to save us from this. It's not. Clearly,
that would have been dope if it worked. You know? I would have loved it if it worked.
Yeah, but that would be cool. That's something that would have happened if this came out in the 80s. For sure. You know what I mean?
But like, now, this guy. Yeah.
Oh, he's an Avenger. You know, approved.
You have to think the government, if you're already...
It's like, what is this? Is he jacking him off? Like,
no,
that was a stamp.
Approval. Thank you.
You're an Avenger?
What is happening? Wait, if you're an Avenger, you get jerked off?
No.
Where do I sign? Just kidding. No. What was I doing me off? Yeah, no, you would think the technology you have, like, you would think somehow you're being paid by the government. So
yeah, because wasn't there a line in there where the sister tells him, so what, you got this Tony Stark money now that you know, or she said something along those lines, you know, or you got to start
doesn't work like that.
You know, or so, something along those lines, you know, and he just kind of looked at her like, what are you talking about? You know?
Yeah, right.
So that
was like the general public. That was us.
Right.
Like, you guys don't have
not knowing. Yeah,
exactly. You know, so overall it was a great film. I fucking hated the end where they showed US Agent with and it was it was a massive slap in the face to Sam. I understand why Sam didn't want to take up the mantle. I get it. I understand that.
Yeah.
But the way what it looks like is they told Sam it's gonna stay. No, not that they didn't want him. Not that they didn't want him, but it was
memorial.
They told him it's a memorial for him. Right. It's gonna sit in the Smithsonian and it's not gonna leave. That's what's happening, because that's what the curator came back.
That bothered me from that part is like, oh, you made the right decision.
Right. Yes. You know, like that. And I'm just kind of like, oh, okay, cool. I get it. You know, he doesn't want to, it's overbearing.
It's going to be a Captain America that's going to follow the government.
Right. That's so for them to say, yeah, you made the right decision. I'm like, okay, cool. I get it. Doesn't want to take with the mantle. It's too much, ball this and that. But the slap in the face when they're just like the new symbol of America. I'm like, and then when they show him, and don't get me wrong, the guy that plays him is a great actor. His dad's a fucking amazing actor. Okay. Because that is Kurt Russell's son that is playing US agent. So but that fucking costume design, am I the only one that saw fucking Carl from the movie Up in the US agent costume?
I just said don't say Up. Yes.
Yes.
I didn't know that was Carl, but that was like
when they showed him, I was like,
with that goofy ass smile,
right?
And the nose, and then his ears, that helmet on him looks so fucking small for his head. His ears are fucking sticking out. It's like collectively as a world, when they showed him on screen collectively, everyone said, fuck you.
Yeah.
You are not my Captain America.
It gave me WandaVision vibes. The way that you see the director talking down to Wanda, and you're thinking as a viewer, like, no wonder she snapped. Like, you're pushing her, you're treating her like a piece of shit. And just like Sam is just getting beat down every scene. It's like, I'm gonna save my company, my family's company, beat down. I'm gonna get a loan, beat down. And then it's like, and then you get to this scene, and it's, they took this shield that they said we were gonna take it from you to be a monument to represent, who he was, and it's like, actually, we're giving it to this guy. Like, if the dude snaps, like, I would totally get it. Like, we've seen the trailer and we know he works with the government, but dude, I would totally fucking get it.
I don't see Sam snapping. I see Sam coming in and being like, what the fuck, bro? Like, you told me, it was just going to sit there.
He's definitely getting the shield at the end, though.
Oh, for sure. I guarantee you, at the very end, he's going to take up the mantle.
One thing I wanted to talk about was that beginning scene where he's a GSP comes out in it, and they're fighting for the... Dude, just the amount of money that they fucking spent on that whole flying scene, and you could see him flying through the canyon. Dude, that shit was so fucking awesome.
It's movie level, yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, like that is straight up movie level action scene right there.
Mm-hmm.
And like that, just like in the beginning to hook you into the show, it's like, fuck.
Like that's setting you up as far as now our expectations for the next 5 episodes that are supposed to be coming out.
And you gain such an appreciation for him as a character. Like, I forgot who said it, but it's not, I think Ash said it, not that they're B-listers, but you have all these heavy hitters up in the front. And so, but now we're getting an ability to see the Wandas, the Falcons, the Winter Soldiers, like, and to see Falcon, like, this is him by himself fucking shit up, like, just being so good at what he does. Like, yeah, I thought
also knowing that since he was in the military, what he's capable of doing.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. He's now going from Captain America sidekick. It's now starting to shift, in his favor.
When I saw Flash,
and then I'm just kidding. Just kidding.
When I saw Flash and Cyborg bump Knuckles, I was all fucking. Falcon and Winter Soldier, like, if they decided to do something like that,
that would be so meaningful. Yeah.
Oh, by Carmen. Did somebody quit on us?
Oh yeah.
Did we hit a time limit? Her Wi-Fi ran out.
No.
Like Spectrum was like, done.
That's how they do it. And done. You done?
You done? And then another thing I hate about Carmen is, hey, what's up?
Fuck you.
Yeah.
Anybody else have anything else to add? Carmen, maybe? Would you have anything to add about Winter Soldier?
I liked how relatable they made both of them seem, both Falcon and Bucky. not that as a watcher you don't feel that you can relate to superheroes, but you kind of feel like, oh shit, like they have normal problems like we do. And I felt very attached to both of them because of that. One, because you do have family issues, you know, with Sam and
His
his
sister.
sister, and when he's, you know, they're going through financial problems, and it's like, well, like you weren't here, like what do you expect, like you can't just now come back. I love that. I also love the making amends of Bucky, just because that kind of goes along with, like, you know, the therapy and like AA, kind of like working your steps, and you kind of have to, you know, make amends. And I know that you guys touched upon what made you tear up for the Snyderverse, and the scenes with Yori, the older, um, they made me tear up because he looks a lot like my grandpa, and my grandpa was definitely my rock. So I that definitely caught me on in the field. And I totally see his battle, you know, when he goes on the date and then he's like rushing to go tell him like, hey, this is what I did. And then he just has to hold back because he knows like that's just gonna destroy this man. I really love that. I love that, seeing that side to Bucky, because he's really struggling, and I know like they're just gonna develop his character even more. So I really like that. What else? Going on with the red hand, or the flash something they're called, flash smashers or whatever. Like that seems like they're the next like small villains or whatever.
Yeah. They seem to have metahumans on
So I
their,
like that.
their team.
Right. They seem like they have some sort of like a what was that? The super soldier serum.
Right.
Yeah.
Like that person or whoever they showed. Also, I like the fact that we got to see Falcon's interaction with Red Wing, because we didn't really get to see that before on the other movie. So I totally dug that. That was like A+ in my book. And then
And there was slang that he used where Red Wing understood it. You know what I mean? Like it wasn't like specific, like when you try to, hey Google, like it's like it was like it's used to his verbiage.
100%. I love the dynamic that they had going on, so I could only see that coming back and paying off, and like also seeing his engineering abilities, because they were never really highlighted before at all.
Right.
You know, and he's like, oh, they always fuck up with my equipment, like the Air Force, and like I know what I'm doing. Like I love that. So I just love to see. I know that you guys talked about it already. They're not B-lister, really the focus on all their movies, and now we get the character development here, and I love it. I may sound repetitive, I'm sorry if I am, but I just loved it. So I am looking forward to more episodes.
Very cool.
Dang it. And what do we have? Six slated episodes for
6 total, so 5 more.
Oh.
And then a week off, then we get Loki.
I do
Also
hope
dope.
they all fit somewhere in, like not even in like a wink to the other episode, like a wink to the movies or whatever, but more. I do hope it's all just. I'm gonna film the next thing that you just did, Esteban, and I'm gonna, you know what I mean? And everybody's
Thanks, man.
in line. You know what I mean? I just hope it all makes sense. You know. Sorry.
I'm sure you could. They've been doing a good job so far, so I'm sure you don't have to worry about it, bro.
But the world is expanding now. It's not just movies. Like we can keep track. It's more you have to keep track of because now that you're streaming.
Yeah. They've done it in such a way that it almost holds you hostage that you have to watch the next thing. So they have done a beautiful job of creating this universe and keeping you engaged into it. Any final comments on Winter Soldier and Falcon before we sign off today, guys?
Good.
Got a bunch of no's here. You at home or anybody listening, if you have any comments for us, please comment them to us and we will read it on the next episode. Any topic that you say, hey, you didn't talk about this on this part of whatever topic, let us know, guys. That way you guys can be a part of the show and we'll read at the top of the episode. And we'll more than likely read your comment. Well, that's pretty much all that it is, all that we got for you guys today. Thank you again for tuning in. We appreciate all the support and love. Keep subscribing, keep watching. We're appreciating it. We're seeing it. And Ash, with the sign out, we are Comix.
We are everywhere.
Good night.
Goodbye.